with your energy forecast for Wednesday, January 17th. Okay, so we have the moon in Aries energy all day. We're building towards the first quarter moon in Aries energy that will be taking place very late in the day. It's actually the last aspect that we have going on here today. So of course, the first quarter moon of any lunar cycle is always a building up of energies. We're reaching a choice point, a decision point, a point of action. There is a lot of energy building. And of course, this Aries energy, a fire energy, is definitely putting some pep back into our step. Now, again, the first quarter moon is when the moon is squaring off, creating tension, creating conflict with the sun. And this tension, this conflict does kind of push us into making a decision, making a choice, taking some sort of action, especially if it has any kind of connection to the new moon intentions that we set, of course, under that new moon in Capricorn back on the 11th. This is a motivating energy, a growth type of energy that usually comes out of agitation and frustration. Again, that is where that stress, that kind of buildup, that tension is pushing us away from the things that we cannot continue to pour into, and out of that, reach a choice decision point on what it is that we would prefer to kind of experience instead. Thus, decision point, action point. So we're building towards that. Now, keep in mind, this is a restless energy. We have ants in our pants. There's some anxiety that could come along with this because, again, we feel like we're being pushed or pulled in a different direction that we haven't quite gained the kind of clarity on that would make us feel comfortable in actually setting our sights on a path, on a direction, moving forward. So there is a lot of conflicting energies, tension-filled energies, agitation-filled energies as we build to this aha moment, this decision point, this point of action. What we have to remember is to not act on impulse. We are not in a time to just be, taking actions, making moves willy-nilly here. Everything has to be well planned out, well thought out, calculated, and strategized. We are in Capricorn season. So again, we're not going to take action on anything that has not been well thought out. So with that being said, there are 9 different aspects taking place here today. 7 of them are going to involve the moon. The moon in this Aries energy going to come up to bump into, team up with Chiron, the wounded healer in this Aries energy, helping us to anchor in this new sense of self, this new identity, this rebranding process that we've been going through. We are very aware of our holdups, of the issues that are blocking us, of the challenges that are blocking us, especially when it comes to our own narratives, our own emotions. This particular awareness is giving us the warrior type of spirit to really examine these issues and tackle them head on. We want to fix them. We want to repair them. We want to heal them. We want to resolve them. Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, and money in the Sagittarius energy, is going to be making a positive interaction with Saturn, the Lord of Karma, ruling over our roles, responsibilities, systems, structures, foundations, willpower, and discipline. Saturn is in this Pisces energy, really showing us where we have to kind of strip away the illusions, where we have to kind of move out of fantasy land, where it is that we have to examine our limiting false type of belief system in order to build something better, something a little bit more in alignment with the truth of our real, raw, authentic self, with what it is that our heart and our soul is asking us to pursue. Venus making this interaction with Saturn has us very anchored, very grounded in this present moment. We are definitely focused on making a move that is heart motivated, something that will make us happy, bring a little bit more happiness, joy, pleasure, safety, security, and stability back into our lives. But this particular move that we are looking to make to honor our heart space is well thought out. It is very tasteful, very calculated. This is something that is really showing us where it is that we need to honor ourselves. And so this is a huge revelation, huge change in that heart space, really bossing up, understanding that in order to reach the next level of our happiness, of our safety, security, stability in our physical realms, we have to be doing things a little bit differently. And it all starts with A, acknowledging what it is that our heart wants us to pursue, and B, constructing the right kind of belief system, the narrative, the pep talk, if you will, in our headspace in order for us to actually start building towards this particular launching point. The moon is then going to make a positive interaction with Uranus, the Great Awakener, who is retrograde in this Taurus energy. This is likely going to be when the anxiety, the restlessness comes in, when the ants in the pants become a little bit hard to handle, because we're gaining a little bit of insight, a little bit of clarity, if you will, but we're also understanding where it is that this electricity coursing through our bodies, this fire energy coming in from that heart space, is wanting us to take action and make moves that, technically speaking, aren't very clear at this present moment. So we have a lot going on in our, let's call it mental field, where we're visualizing what it is that we want to do, visualizing what we kind of want to gain in our lives, but not really sure of the plan that we have to kind of watch organically unfold. We don't know the steps that we need to take in order to actually get there. So we are having some kind of aha moment, some kind of epiphany on what it is that we want to pursue. Now we just need to get down to the nitty gritty and actually come up with a plan on how it is that we're going to bring this aspect to life. The moon is then going to come up to bump into, team up with the North Node in Aries energy, which of course means that we're in a direct opposition to the South Node in Libra energy. This is going to manifest in one of two ways, and maybe a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. First of all, let's address the moon and the North Node. Reminder, the North Node in Aries energy is our soul path. It's the path that we need to get on to reach our next mission, to reach our soul's potential, to reach the next quest, if you will, of being independent, of knowing thyself, of healing thyself, of putting our own wants, needs, and desires back at the top of the list. This particular interaction is definitely going to show us where it is that there is a step to be taken. Again, reminder, we're building towards that first quarter moon in Aries. Something has to change. Something has to evolve. We have to grow in some area in order to break away from the old and, of course, gain closer proximity to the new. Now, the moon opposing, sitting directly across from the South Node in Libran energy, that is where we're coming from. That's where we're overly comfortable, overly familiar. That's what we're having a hard time breaking away from. That South Node in Libran energy is very focused on our attachments, especially to other people, where it is that we allow other people to kind of have a little bit more power over us than they deserve, because we tend to dim our light in order to fit in. We tend to kind of change our path, our trajectory based off of other people's thoughts and opinions. We got to stop that. We have to stop people pleasing. We have to stop wearing the fake facade, that fake mask, in order to try and fit in and make everybody happy. That North Node in Aries energy is saying break away from these particular attachments so that you can get to know who it is that you are without these particular energy influences. And of course, identify what it is that you've been backburnering in order to try and appease other people. So there is this tension, there is this conflict. We do have a tendency to want to kind of move back into our comfort zones that, of course, we should be breaking out of at this point. And the familiarity of just kind of putting too much energy into other people's thoughts and opinions about our own damn lives and what it is that we want to do, what we want to pursue, that has got to stop. So there is this push and pull, this back and forth energy that we are going to be experiencing with this particular aspect. Now, the moon in Aries is going to semi-square Saturn. So this is going to create just a minor tension, minor conflict point, and especially coming out of that interaction with the North Node and the South Node. Now we're really kind of cluster effed in our headspace on what it is that we need to do here. We know that we need to break away from the old. We know that we have to create distance and space in some of our relationship dynamics so that we know who we are without this energy impacting our present moment, our here and now, our goals, our dreams. But we don't know how to do that. And we would really like to just put, all of our energy, all of our attention and focus on growth, on evolvement, on building, on kind of gaining closer proximity to our goals, but we don't even know what that looks like. So Saturn, who is the tough life lesson giver of the zodiac, wants us to see where it is that we're feeling the pressure. We're feeling the weight especially crushing us on having to do the same old over again, because the mundane tasks and chores are just, sucking the life force energy out of us at this point in time. But also trying to show us where it is that if we want to break away from this particular circumstance and situation, we better have a good plan put into place, because whatever it is that we're building right now is going to have longevity to it, long-term goals, long-term return on investment at this time. And this is, again, why we can't act on impulse. The Saturn energy that, of course, is ruling over Capricorn season right now needs us to really boss up, be mature, understand the tough love life lessons that we've already learned the hard way, and integrate that experience into this present moment so that we can build something strong enough to house the goals, the dreams, the visions that we're currently looking to basically bring to life. Now, Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, ruler of the information, communication, and how it is that we express ourselves, Mercury is in Capricorn energy, still trying to gain momentum. He's in his post-retrograde shadow period until the 20th. The 20th is a huge day. The Sun, Pluto walk hand in hand into Aquarius energy, and Mercury clears his post-retrograde shadow period. All cylinders in our mind space will be fired up and working optimally. But right now, we're still kind of foggy. This is why, again, we want clarity that we just don't have at this particular point in time. Mercury being in this Capricorn energy is very tunnel vision, very focused on what needs to be done, the to-do list, whether that means wrapping up issues, projects from the past, cleaning the slate, so to speak, preparing for this green light go ahead for us to take action, make moves, and start building towards something new. Mercury's going to be interacting with Uranus. So Uranus is the Great Awakener who is retrograde in Taurus energy. Uranus is the higher octave of our intellect. Mercury rules over the lower level of our intellect. Uranus attaches us to our higher selves, to the greater, grander cosmos, to the levels of intellect out there that is supposed to be guiding us and assisting us to fulfill our soul's mission, our soul's passion, our soul's dreams. Mercury, on the other hand, rules over the lower level intellect that is very much connected to the ego avatar. And so when we have Uranus and Mercury working with each other, there's going to be either a whole lot of aha moments or a whole hell of a lot of confusion. Unfortunately for us, this is not the best interaction. There may be some aha moments, some insight, but it is going to come out of mental tension, mental conflict, mental frustration. We're going to be scatterbrained. There isn't a proper train of thought. And there is some ideas. There are some, really good epiphanies coming out of this, but our minds are not peaceful. And so it's coming out of feeling like our heads are going to explode. Now, if you find yourself in communications with other individuals where you're trying to paint a picture of the goals, of the vision that you're trying to work towards, please expect that information to not be received in the way that you wish that it was. There is going to be miscommunications here. Again, Mercury is not up to his optimal speed, not up to the placement of clarity that he needs to be at in order to have conversations that aren't going to go astray, that aren't going to be misunderstood. So this particular interaction is definitely not favorable, definitely going to add a lot of pressure to the headspace, probably increase the anxiety, the restlessness that we have been feeling as this day has been unfolding. But lucky for us, we do have the moon trining beautiful interaction with Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, and money in the Sagittarius energy. So the moon in Aries, Venus in Sag, it's fire on fire. We love fire energies. Fire energies help us to burn away the gunk, burn away the cords, burn away the attachments, and then regenerate the inspiration, the motivation, the pep in our step that we've been lacking at this time. This is a huge realization on our wants, needs, and desires that are heart-led, especially where relationship dynamics are concerned. The moon is then going to interact with Neptune. Neptune in his place of power in this Pisces energy. This is a positive interaction, which means that there's some sort of intuitive guidance, intuitive downloads, intuitive vision, if you will, on inspiring us, renewing us in our soul and our spirit, reminding us on what it is that we're actually fighting for and trying to move towards. So the last thing that we have going on here today, 10:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, is the moon in Aries, going to get in the boxing ring, square off with the sun in Capricorn energy, and this is what gives us our first quarter moon phase. So as we kind of move through the day, the energy is building, the anxiety, the impulse is building, the frustration, the agitation is building, because we have to make a choice. We have to make a decision. And from that particular tension and conflict, not only will we arrive at what it is that we have to do, but we may even be presented with an option, with an opportunity to take a step forward, to take action, to make a move, to get away from the old, to get ourselves closer to the new.